Hey, what is going on guys? It's Tharshey and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at the best 2.0 Gimli build in Lord of the Rings Rise to War. So as you know, with the 2.0 update to Rise to War, the way commanders' skills work, the way gear worked, all of that changed. Therefore, all the old guides on commander builds are kind of outdated. I mean, they're not terrible, but you can't really use them anymore. So because of that, I will be redoing all my guides, one by one. So we're going to start off with Gimli today and have a look at the units to use with him, the skills to use on him, as well as the gear. So hope you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So if we click on commanders and we go over to Gimli, well, we're going to look at his equipment first, and as you can see, I've got one gold piece and three purple pieces, but what is important is the secondary effect on these pieces as well as the stats. So what you're going to want on Gimli is an effect that increases damage or attack. So I have Sharp Blade, which is this formation attack plus 20 during combat. And this affects both the units in the formation as well as the commander. So this is a very nice skill to be using on him, though another skill you could use is Warcry, which is first 3 rounds, this formation's damage dealt plus 20%, which means for the first 3 rounds, your units as well as your commander will have 20% bonus damage. So you could also use that, or you could even get something like evasive action, which is damage received for the first 3 rounds minus 20%, which would obviously help your unit survive longer. And if your unit survive longer, your commander will do more damage. So in terms of skills, I would recommend something like Sharp Blade or Warcry for all 4 pieces of gear, because when you have all 4 pieces of gear with the same effect, then you get the effect bonus. If you have 3 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 1 out of 4, you will not be getting that bonus 20 attack if you have Sharp Blade, or 20% damage if you have Warcry. Now, what stats are we looking for exactly? Well, it's very simple. On Gimli, what you want is commander damage. And you can see that it's going to say under the name of the equipment, so Axe of Khazad-dûm, commander damage plus 7 to 15. And that is going to affect the damage that you see over here, right? You see this damage stat over here, determines ability to inflict all types of damage. And that is at 24 to 34. And that is affected by the stat that is under the name of the item. Then it has a secondary stat that says commander attack plus 40. And that is over here. It's the little sword icon. Affects ability to inflict physical damage, which is fine because Gimli is a physical damage dealer. So there's 2 stats you have to remember, okay? Once you have the effect out the way, which in this case is going to be Sharp Blade, then you need to look for a piece of equipment that's going to give you commander attack for the secondary stat and commander damage for the first stat, okay? Because the more commander damage you have, the more overall damage Gimli is going to do. The more commander attack you have, the more physical damage Gimli is going to do. Either way, both those stats increase the damage he deals. So in terms of the chainmail, in terms of the chest piece, I have Scale Mail, which is commander attack plus 15. Obviously not the greatest, and it does give commander HP plus 960, which is fine because you do need more HP for your commander, especially since he's a damage commander. You don't want him getting knocked out too early and then unable to deal damage. However, this is not the best piece of equipment, because, I mean, a gold piece with a lot more attack would obviously be better. Unfortunately, I don't have such a piece, so I am using this instead. For the helmet, I have the Horseman's Helm, which increases command, which is the number of units that Gimli can hold, which is, again, a good thing, because the more units he has, the longer they're going to survive. The longer they survive, the more damage Gimli will do. And it also gives commander attack plus 6, unit defense plus 18. Not the greatest thing. I would much prefer something like this, the Cask of Pride, which gives commander HP and commander command. Either one is okay for me, honestly, but I do like the commander attack here of plus 16. Unfortunately, this is not the right effect. I needed a Sharp Blade, and this just doesn't give me what I want. So, rule of thumb when you're choosing gear for Gimli, pick gear that is going to give commander attack and commander damage. That is the most important thing. Commander attack and commander damage. And secondly, for the effect, remember to use 4 pieces of gear with the same effect so that you get the bonus from using the effect. If you have 3 pieces of gear or 2 pieces or 1 piece of gear, you'll not be getting that effect bonus. The set effect only applies if all 4 pieces of gear have the same effect. So that's enough about gear, I think. Let's talk about the units. So for units on Gimli, you're going to want something that's very tanky, right? obviously the tankier your units are, the longer they're going to survive. The longer they survive, the more damage your damage commander is going to do. However, when picking units, there is one thing to remember. So if you go to his skills and you click down here, you'll see this is Power of Bloodline. Current level, elves and dwarves attack and defense +7 for units of the aforementioned race in the commander's formation. So the bloodline bonus basically means if you have units that correspond to the units in the bloodline, they are going to get that bonus attack and defense. So if I use elvish units or dwarvish units on Gimli, then right now they will all get +7 attack and +7 defense, which doesn't sound like much, but hey, that is going to all add up in the end. So try to use units that match your bloodline bonus. In this case, elves or dwarves. And from elves and dwarves, I would go for guardians, because guardians are pretty much the tankiest melee unit you can use, unless you have something like Erebor T4, which is Iron Warriors, or you have something like Depth Defenders, which is the T4 units that you can recruit from the map. So for units, I am going to recommend using Guardians for Gimli, unless you have something like Depth Defenders, which you can recruit from the map because they're a recruitable units, or you can go for Iron Warriors if you are playing Erebor, as Iron Warriors are basically an upgraded version of Guardians with more damage, HP, etc. Finally, for the skills, you can see the skills that I've currently got selected, but we're gonna go over everything since, Gimli is not max level and we do have more skill points to use. So the first thing you're gonna do skill-wise is you're gonna max out Experienced Warrior. This procs every second round, and it deals 200% physical damage once to 2 enemy formations. At level 5, it increases the attack of 6 upon dealing damage, and it stacks 5 times. So when you deal damage the first time, your attacks will increase by 6, second time, 12, 18, and eventually it's going to stack up to 30, so you'll have a bonus 30 attack in total after 5 attacks that Gimli does. And at level 10, it just increases commander attack by 5. So after you max out Experienced Warrior, you're immediately going to go over to Durin's Blood. This procs every third round, and you're going to max this out next. At max level, this will deal 700% physical damage once to 1 to 2 enemy formations. So if there's 2 enemy formations, I think it will always do 2 damage to both of them. So 700% physical damage to 2 enemy formations, that's amazing. At level 5, in addition, skill damage dealt plus 10% for 3 rounds. So when this procs, then your any skill damage that you deal from any of his other skills or this skill will be increased by 10%. And at level 10, it will increase his attack by 5. Next up, you have 2 choices. You can go to Lockbearer, which is defense of 3 enemy formations, and your minuses by 1 for each level you upgraded. And then at level 5, damage dealt to melee units plus 6%. Or you can go Lord of the Glittering Caves, and I will say go with Lord of the Glittering Caves. This is by far the better choice. It procs every second round, and it deals 22% physical damage once to 2 enemy formations. When you upgrade that, it's obviously going to go up to 44% and 66, 88. I assume it upgrades like that. Yeah, it does, and then it ends up being 220% when maxed out. So that's pretty cool to see. And more importantly, at level 5, it will be healing effects received by the target is minus 50% for 2 rounds. So what this effect will do is if you get this to level 5, if you have the skill points to upgrade Lord of the Glittering Caves to level 5, on top of doing a whole bunch of physical damage to 2 enemy formations, you're also going to be reducing the healing received by the target by 50% for 2 rounds. So this is a pretty great anti-heal skill. So now that we've finished that, let's just go over everything we've already discussed in this video just to round it all up for you guys. So first things first, in terms of gear, you're going to want to get gear that all has a matching set bonus. That set bonus that you should be looking for Gimli is hopefully something that increases damage, like Sharp Blade or War Cry. Secondly, you're going to want to look for gear that gives commander attack as well as commander damage. Or you could go for gear that gives something like commander HP or even commander command. Both of those still do help. But for the main effect, you do want to go for either of the 3. And for the secondary effect, you do want to go for commander attack, okay? Just go for as much commander attack as you can. The more attack he has, the more damage he's going to do. In terms of units, you're going to want to get a unit that matches his bloodline, which in this case is elves or dwarves, and I recommend guardians. Or if you are playing Erebor, Iron Warriors, or if you have access to Depth Defenders from the map, you should recruit those instead and use those on him, as Depth Defenders are pretty good units. In terms of his skills, you're going to first want to max out Experienced Warrior, which deals a whole lot of physical damage to 2 enemy formations. It increases attack and that stacks each round. Then you have Durin's Blood, which you're going to max out next, which is about 700% physical damage to 1 to 2 enemy formations, increases skill damage dealt for 3 rounds, and gives some commander attack. And next up, all your remaining points should go into Lord of Glittering Caves, which once again deals physical damage to 2 enemy formations, and at level 5 it will reduce the healing received by the enemy target by 50% for 2 rounds. So hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if it did help you out, if this build is something that you're going to be using, then do let me know down below in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video.